Hey everybody, it's Jennifer. Coming to you this morning with a message. I usually put these directly onto the Patreon membership group, but this morning I'm being called to just go straight live and just get it out there. So some of you already know this. Some of you, if you're new to me, I do channel messages from the divine, just depending on what's going on and when they show up. And there's a group that I call the Celestials that are kind of a conglomeration of different beings. Jesus is part of this council, if you want to call it a council. I call it the celestial group because that was just the way that it presented to me. Jesus is usually there. Melchizedek is always there. There are galactic beings that are there, as well as some angels and other people that have been on the planet that you would consider maybe ascended masters or things like that. So the energy today is very, very strong. I I felt it coming on this morning, and I've just been kind of going about some of my regular routine this morning, and it just hit, and I'm like, I have to just write this down. So what came in this morning, for those of you guys, I channel by writing it out, and then I usually record the message from my Patreon people or group membership, and then go from there. But there have been times here recently where it's just coming through and I can't even get a chance to write it. However, this morning, I'm like, I'm just going to write it out. And it was really interesting because I felt like I was writing very hard. Like a lot of times it's just flowing with the energy, but this was like almost this being that was here almost had like a military type presence, and it was very structured and very in his stature. And it was very, like, I could even feel the way I was writing was kind of hard writing. And the message was, energies are intensifying on the planet. Know where your thoughts are going and what frequency you are aligning with. Therefore, you are emitting. Remember, just as you receive energy, you also transmit, emit, give off energy or frequency. The more that you can hold the light and love frequencies, the easier the transformation will be. Many will not understand what is happening, hence the message, faith beyond your understanding, that was given to you through Jennifer previously. Again, we remind you that there is no need for fear, and to trust that in divine truth all is well. The process, plan, procedure is underway and will be commencing forward as projected. The light has won regardless of what your 3D reality looks like. So that was the first part of the message. Good morning, everybody. I see a few people coming on saying, yes, it's really strong. Hi to all of you that are here. I would love to know, I know that some of you that are on here are also intuitives. I'm curious if you're getting the same message, because this was really like intensely pressed on me this morning. So after that message came through, the next message is actually from Melchizedek, and I have actually worked with him before. It was a very loving energy, a very light, compassionate. It's still strict and like structured, but also you can tell that it's a love of there's a love there that is beyond human understanding. It's just an unconditional love that's there. And Melchizedek actually, then after this general of sorts stepped back, then Melchizedek stepped forward and said, this is the time of the return. Just as things were disrupted in the days of Christ, humanity must be disrupted again for new light to dawn. It is written, he heals the brokenhearted. The time of revelation is upon you, but do not fear. Much angst and unease has been connected to the story in the book, but it is not as it may seem. Revelation means to reveal, and much will be made known. So the big message right now, you guys, that I'm feeling is the energies are very strong. Those of you that are kind of in my Facebook group, you know that I have not even been on, I haven't even turned on a TV other than like shows on Netflix or whatever in like, I think it's been almost 6 weeks. So I have no idea what's going on in the news. But I do know that what my guides have been saying over and over lately is to really pay attention to your own frequency, your own thoughts, your own vibration, because the more of us that vibrate at that same frequency, the easier it is to hold light and love on the planet. And the way that this feels to me is like an orchestra, right? So like if we're all playing notes that are in harmony, it's going to feel nice. You can, when you feel the music. So those of you that are like in band nerds, like I used to be in band and I used to sing and was in choir and things like that. So when there's harmony, the frequencies match and everything feels good. Like the energy of the music feels good. You can feel it resonate within your body and it feels good. When there's disharmony or when somebody plays an off note, it causes that, like when you hear a bad note, you immediately just kind of flinch and hold back. So that's kind of the way that when I'm talking about frequency, that's kind of the easiest way for myself to understand what it means to be in harmony. So if you can imagine that you're in an orchestra or in a choir or whatever, you want to hold the note or the frequency that would match to that of love. So if you can be in that space, just take a minute, take a breath, and get yourself into the frequency of love and hold that vibration, because the more of us that can hold that, the easier this transition is going to be. So that is kind of the message for today. Somebody's asking if anybody's having tummy issues. I will say that a lot of people have been feeling a little bit more anxiety lately, a little bit more off kilter physically. And tummy issues would make sense, because whenever you're feeling nervousness and anxiety, even if it's not yours, so depending on what's going on around you in your community, in your town, in your state, whatever it is, if you're feeling that, it can give you an upset stomach, just like if you're nervous or upset yourself, right? So just be really aware of how you're feeling. Be aware of giving yourself whatever it is you need, like slowing down, breathing. Somebody says weird. Every sentence you're saying is repeating itself. I wonder, is anybody else getting that? If so, I can stop the broadcast, but I just wanted to get this out live. Like, I've never just come on and done, well, I have in the past, but I think it was just on YouTube. But now that I have StreamYard, like I can just go all the way across with it. And maybe it's repeating because it needs to be repeated, because this is intense, you guys. Whatever's happening right now is intense. So those of you that are feeling the physical effects of this energy, know that you're not alone. Everybody is feeling this. I have felt it a little bit myself the last few days. I've had to do a lot of like physical self-care, like movement, salt baths, extra water. I've actually, to be totally honest, I've drank way more coffee the last couple days. So that to me is grounding. And I know other people are going to argue with that, but for me, coffee is always grounding, so that it actually helps me calm down. So do the things that are in your best interest. Now, if you're somebody that coffee makes you crazy, don't go drink a pot of coffee. But if it helps you center and calm down and get grounded, then that's fine. Use shungite crystal and hematite is what I have on, because I feel like that has been helping me as well with all of the frequency that is out there right now. And again, you guys, just like everything, whenever I talk about these things, look at everything in your life from 5 pillars. Okay, so I always say there's 5 pillars to wholeness, and that's what we're all being called back into is our wholeness. Okay, so this is physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and galactic energy. We have to figure out how to bring all of those into congruency in our life, so that we can be the whole divine being in this human experience that we're here to be, because we have a physical body, so we need to be supporting it as much as we can, as well as we can, drinking plenty of water, getting enough sleep, getting sunshine, all of the things that you need to do, doing salt baths or detoxes or drinking juice or whatever it is for you that makes your body feel good. That's what you need to do. Okay. Physically, do what you need to physically. Mentally, be aware of where your thoughts are going, and if you're thinking thoughts that are positive or negative, because that is going to also affect your frequency. Emotions, try to feel whatever's coming up. I just did a video yesterday with a guest, and we talked about integration and embodiment, and how we really need to look at our emotions. Like when you're trying to shove your emotions down and not feel them, it's actually repressing them, which causes anxiety and nervousness in your body. So it's better to be able to look at your emotions and process through them. Now, if you need a counselor or somebody to go through that with you, then absolutely look for help with that. But don't avoid your emotions, because especially the negative emotions, because you push those down. And again, with your high emotions, that's awesome. But I will say right now, balance is key. So physical, mental, emotional, spiritually, be doing your meditation, your journaling, your prayer, your singing, your crystal balls, whatever it is that you do spiritually for you, prayer, meditation. I had my Bible out this morning. It's right here handy, and so like do whatever it is that you need to do for your spiritual practice. And then galactically, this is kind of where those crystals even come in. Like, I know crystals are an earth thing, but there's galactic energy going on. There's neutrinos coming in from the sun. This is all science stuff that I'm really not, like, this isn't my forte of science, but there are galactic beings coming in, that I understand. But there's like neutrinos from the sun. There are geomagnetic storms that are happening. Any and all of the other energies from other people, other emotions, the towers. Like, there's so much electrical frequency going on that when I say galactic, it's all of those things. Because even the planets right now, you guys, are in alignments that are not, we have never experienced. So humanity, like in the 1500s or whatever it is, they may have experienced these same energies, but we that are ones that are alive right now on this planet haven't been affected. Like, we have never experienced the alignments. And everything in the solar system, right, it works on magnetics and mathematics. So there's a magnetic pull between us and Saturn and us and Neptune. And so all of these different things, like, I always say, if the moon can move the tide, right? So if the moon can affect the ocean, can you imagine what just the moon does to us? And then you add all of the other planets in there. Of course, we're going to be feeling the galactic energy. So just, I know that was quick and fast and furious, but there is a message for today. Sending you guys lots of love. We can talk about this more in the Embodied Grace community. If you want to ask questions there, please do. Otherwise, Patreon, the membership is open. So if you have questions about that, let me know. And I will talk to you guys all soon. But that is the message for today.